Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to be able to speak to you today. So maybe you could just kick off with a brief introduction to this incredible second season. What can fans expect? Maybe some more of the same, but what's new? And what can they expect from each of your characters?
Yeah. It's more of the same, but some even more high stakes.
It's more of the same, but even more.
No, but it's more, yeah, there is more of the same. Some of the same characters,
The
some
characters
new characters.
develop.
There's some character developments. There's some, there's love in the air. There's domestic bliss. There's newfound
Domestic unrest.
There's intricate plots and high stakes drama and some blood and tears on the way.
That's pretty good.
That's it.
Of course, when these things land, you never really know how much they're going to connect with audiences. So it must always be so amazing to watch how much people have connected with a series like this. What was it like coming back onto set and maybe feeling, like there's already kind of a shorthand when you've already done a first season?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to come back and knowing that it's got its fan base, let's say. We as actors come back knowing our characters better. We get to play more. You're freer in the second season. The first season, a lot of the time, is about setting up. And there are so many characters in this show. And what's nice about season 2 is that we get to know all of them a lot better. And that continues throughout all the subsequent seasons. And for us, it was nice to develop this sort of relationship. And I think it's quite an accurate relationship. It's quite a real. Loads of times we'd be reading it and we'd both say,
Yeah.
I would say this to my boyfriend, and Dustin was like, this is the sort of thing I would definitely say to my girlfriend. And so that was really nice to be doing something that is truthful to a relationship and two people.
And actually, I think one of the things that really stands out about it is the dialogue. I guess much from Mick Herron's books and from the script, but also it's in the delivery. So what do you think it is that makes the writing work so well? And it must just be so much fun. All these really cutting lines and all the humor that comes out of it. It's often very dark humor as well.
I think it's just written. It's not written to be made into comedy. It's just that it's so character driven. It's just the way that the characters speak, and when it comes from that kind of place, it's such a joy to play, and it's just read really well. And
I have to make mention, of course, of Gary Oldman. I mean, they were re-releasing Nil by Mouth, and I was going back to some of his old.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And sort of, hearing him speak, sort of. All that time ago, and you just realise, what a fascinating man and actor and talent that he is. I mean, what is it like being on set with him and playing this really incredible, Jackson Lamb's kind of world-weary kind of old spy?
Well, I guess it's quite, you've got an actor of that caliber and you've grown up watching him and sort of, being influenced. And so he's got that gravitas that Jackson Lamb has as well. He's got this sort of slightly mystical, terrifying, up in the office, bangs on the floor if he wants to, sort of. So that kind of works quite well in that, in that you're sort of slightly, I don't know, what am I trying to say? You're, I'm not going to say in awe, but, you're not what I'm trying to say.
Inspired.
It's...
I mean, he's great to work with, as someone who is the number one in a series can really set the tone for everyone, and it can change quite drastically and depending on who's leading the show. And Gary's just such a amazing and kind and just a wonderful human being, really. So we've been really lucky, really, really lucky. And he's a phenomenal actor, and it's just great to watch,
And it does look like you have a lot of fun making it. And it is kind of an ensemble cast. And it's kind of the antithesis of maybe the sort of slick James Bond kind of international spy world. Everything's kind of grubby and underground.
Yeah.
But then there's this amazing kind of atmosphere between everyone. And it's like a family of kind of misfits. So what are some of the highlights maybe of being on set and working together?
Well, I always bring baked goods to set, so that's the highlight for you.
Yeah, we do get a lot of cookies from you.
I don't know. It's nice to be in a long running piece like this, because you do start making more a family out of the people that you work with. Because quite often when you're filming, you might cross paths for like 3 or 4 days, and then that's it. But to have to know Ros and Dustin for the last 2 years, it's very unique in what we do as actors.
Yeah, you become really close. And we hang out outside of filming and go to weddings, going to each other's weddings and stuff. So it's nice. Yeah. Actually, I wasn't invited to yours, so I'll talk later.
We're not that
close.
And ultimately, what do you think people can take away from watching a series like this? Because there's always kind of the entertainment factor and the mystery of it all, and the edge of your seat, not knowing what's going to happen next. But then there's also that thing of the people that behind the scenes are keeping us safe and aren't necessarily sort of the face of these things, and don't necessarily have that thing of heroism and the ideas of loyalty. What do you think maybe some of the takeaways might be?
Well, certainly all of that.
You basically summed up really nicely.
You've summed it up. You've summed it up. I mean, that is exactly what it is. It's such a kind of Pandora's box of so many good elements, so many good shows all in one. It's funny, it's believable, it's relatable, it's exciting, it's edge of your seat, it's real, it's truthful. That's the best thing about it. It's the believability. It's the truth of it.
Well, I think that's my time up. But thank you so much for sharing all that with me, and I can't wait for everyone else to get stuck into season 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.